folks, welcome back to the channel. I am yours truly, and today I want to do something a little bit different. This is going to be kind of a big project on the channel. I am going to do a prediction video, but it's going to be for the Power 5 conferences, basically predicting where the teams are going to finish on the standings. And this is in no way of saying that this team is going to win the conference or anything. This is just purely a video ordering the teams how I think they're going to finish at the end of the regular season. Now, you got the conference championship games to determine who would win the conference. So, just because a team finishes first in the standings here doesn't mean that they're going to win the conference. In some cases, it doesn't mean that they're going to win the conference. They still got to face off in the conference championship game to determine who's the champion of that conference. And so the way I'm going to do is I'm going to do the conferences with divisions first and then go to the conferences that do not have divisions, as doing the ones with divisions are going to be easier to do than, say, the ones without divisions, because it's easier to figure out what order teams are going to finish from a group of 7 and a group of 14 or so teams without divisions. And as we get into the ones without divisions, it's kind of a disclaimer here. It kind of, when you see a team at higher than you think they should be, it isn't because I'm high on them or any of that. It's just sometimes it's just the way the schedule works out. They avoid certain teams, certain powerhouse teams that's in the conference, or they get teams at home or whatever. It's no way of me saying that this team is better than that team. It's just the way the schedule works out for that team is that they can avoid either a huge chunk or all the heavy hitters in the conference. So anyways, let's start off with the Big Ten. We're going to start off with the Big Ten East, and coming in at number 7 in the Big Ten East, I'm going to say Indiana. Yeah, there's just not a lot of hope and optimism with Indiana. Indiana could finish 6th in the Big Ten East. It all depends on, how they manage their schedule, but I wouldn't expect Indiana to be contending for a Big Ten East anytime soon. Coming in 6th in the Big Ten East is going to be Rutgers. I think Rutgers this year's like Indiana. I don't think they're going to be making a bowl this year, but I do think they're going to be just good enough to beat Indiana. So, coming in 5th for the Big Ten East is Michigan State. Michigan State last year was not very impressive, especially on their defense, and I don't think much has changed. Nothing has impressed me in the news in the offseason about Michigan State to make me think they're going to be improved this year. So I think Michigan State's going to be ending up in 5th in the Big Ten East. Coming in 4th for the Big Ten East is Maryland. Now, Maryland, I think, will be contending for a bowl game this year, and their Big Ten West schedule, I guess you call it, is very favorable for them compared to Michigan State. I think both these teams are on the same level. I just think Maryland's Big Ten schedule is easier than Michigan State's Big Ten schedule. So that's why I think they're going to be at 4th this year. Coming in at number 3 for the Big Ten East is Penn State. Now, Penn State, I feel like if Penn State was in the Big Ten West, yeah, they would win that division each and every year. Unfortunately, they're in the same division as Ohio State and Michigan, and I don't think Penn State is better than Michigan and Ohio State, so they're at number 3 in the Big Ten East. Coming in at number 2 in the Big Ten East is Ohio State. I think Ohio State this year will have another great season at the hand of Kyle McCord or Ryan Day. I just think you're going to lose to Michigan again in the regular season finale when you go to the Big House. That's just the only difference between being number 1 and number 2. And the winner of the Big Ten East, according to my prediction, is going to be Michigan. Reason is Michigan's returning all their talent on offense and defense from last year. So it's going to be hard to beat Michigan again in the Big Ten this year. Coming in last for the Big Ten West is going to be Northwestern. For Northwestern, this season is pretty much going to be a you might as well burn this season because they done fired their head coach. And for Northwestern, the goal is just to not have double-digit losses in the season. So it's going to be a long season for Northwestern and Northwestern fans. Coming in at sixth on the list for the Big Ten West is Minnesota. Now, I'm not saying Minnesota is going to be terrible, but I just don't have a lot of faith and optimism with Minnesota this year. And also, the rumors are swirling around about PJ Fleck possibly losing his job due to a toxic environment in the locker room. So, this part of the list for the Big Ten West, you could make an argument for these teams from 6th to 2nd. These teams, to me, feel very similar to one another. They're pretty much on similar ground. So, I mean, you can make an argument this team can be as high as 2nd, and you can make an argument that the team that I'm going to name as 2nd as low as 6th. There's just a very similar team in this bracket. Coming in 5th, according to my Big Ten predictions this year, is going to be Purdue. Now, I know Purdue last year won the Big Ten West. However, they also won the Big Ten West in a crapshoot last year. It normally is, but this last year was even worse. It was like a contest to see who's the least worst team in the Big Ten West. I think this year Purdue's going to have a bit of a drop off in production. They lost pretty much their entire coaching staff, and they had to hire a brand new coaching staff. So this is a bit of a rebuild year for Purdue. Coming in at 4th in the Big Ten West is Nebraska. Now, I know Nebraska, like Purdue, is dealing with a first-year head coach, but it's also Matt Rule taking over at Nebraska, and I think Nebraska is going to do better than Purdue in their first year. I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska goes 7-5, goes to a bowl game, something that Scott Frost couldn't do at Nebraska. And plus, the reason I have Nebraska over Purdue is Nebraska's schedule, or Nebraska's Big Ten East schedule is a lot easier than Purdue's. So that's why Nebraska gets the edge over Purdue. Coming in at number 3 in the Big Ten West this year is going to be Iowa. Now, you think Iowa, they have no offense, but for some reason they still are in contention every year for the Big Ten West because the Big Ten West is a crapshoot just about every year. And their defense is elite. They force a lot of turnovers, of sacks, and all that. They just have to get the offense rolling. And I don't think they're going to be able to get it rolling just enough to keep up. So put Iowa at number 3 in Big Ten West. Coming in at 2nd in the Big Ten West is Illinois. Now, Illinois last year had an impressive season, even went in the top 15, but the wheels on the bus just fell off late for Illinois in the season. I think this year they're going to be in contention for the Big Ten West, but I think they're going to fall short. I think their defense is going to take a step back this year, and maybe their offense gets a little bit better. But all in all, I think Illinois will finish 2nd in the division. And finally, the winner of the Big Ten West this year, according to me, is going to be Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin's bringing in a first-year head coach, too, just like a couple of the teams in the division. However, they brought in Luke Fickell, which was probably the best head coaching hire in the country. And as far as this round of coaching carousel, and plus they brought in a ton of talent to resurrect that offense for Wisconsin. I think they're still going to run the ball to an extent, but they're going to air it out a little bit more than traditionally with Wisconsin football. So I'm going to say the winner of the Big Ten West in 2023 is going to be Wisconsin. It would shock me if Wisconsin does not win the Big Ten West this year. And that's going to wrap up the Big Ten conference prediction. Now, I did say that I was going to do all Power 5 teams in this video. I've decided to break this up into 5 different parts so that each fan of the conference can go to their separate video rather than have to skip through the video and trying to find their favorite conference or their favorite team in that conference, whatever. So that's what I'm gonna decide to do. Plus, it's gonna make it more easier for you to view it. I guess you want to say it, rather than having to watch one long video. I'd rather break it up into 5 separate videos so it's easier for you to watch, and so that if you're a particular fan of a conference, all you gotta do is just go to that video and watch it, rather than having to go through like 2 to 3 other conferences before finding your conference you want to see. So, anyways, if you like the content, give the video a like. If you want more content, consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate everybody that tunes in and watches my channel, and it goes a long way for me, and it keeps my motivation up to keep giving you more content, because I know you guys are taking your valuable time and watching what I gotta say, or watching my content and all that. And I want to say thank you everybody that comes by and watches the channel. So anyways, like I said, like and subscribe, whatever, comment down below, whatever you got to do. It helps us boost us into the algorithm and puts us in more people's recommended section. So anyways, until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.